You can call me Mystic Mike because I predict these things.
Shamil Gaziev takes on Thomas the Train Petersen this Saturday, UFC Fight Night, Saudi Arabia. This is a battle of the big boys at heavyweight. Two good grapplers. Shamil Gaziev fighting out of Dagestani. Thomas Petersen fighting out of the United States. Former collegiate wrestler. Had a pretty good run in the UFC so far. Decent dude, 9-2. Decent power in the hands, decent boxing. Showed really good improvements in his striking. His last fight against Muhammad Usman, who was garbage. So take that for what it is. But did look really good. A lot better footwork, a lot better movement, a lot better head movement. So does seem to be working his striking. Only 29 years old, so we will see him making pretty big improvements, in my opinion. Not even in his athletic prime yet. Been doing MMA since 2018 when he started as an amateur, so barely even 7 years with a collegiate background in wrestling. So I think Thomas Petersen's got a bright future in the heavyweight division. So Shamil Gaziev fighting out of Dagestan, Russia. So you see this guy, you see that he was undefeated, now 13-1, fighting out of Dagestan. And you think, okay, we've got a legit heavyweight wrestler here. But Shamil Gaziev was a professional volleyball player up until 2017, to where he then transitioned to MMA. So he is not your Dagestani who came out of the womb shooting single leg takedowns. He transitioned to MMA when he was 27 years old. So yes, he does have decent grappling. He is a decent heavyweight, but he is not of the Khabib and the Islam Makhachev lineage who started training when they were 4 or 5 years old. So has some decent wins. Came off of a win over Don'Tale Mayes where he looked like he kind of slowed down his pressure a little bit. He did run into some cardio issues, to put it lightly, against Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Before that, beat Martin Buday, beat Greg Velasco on the Contender Series. So not terrible wins. Greg Velasco is now 6-2, but Martin Buday at the time was 13-1, now 14-2. So pretty good win. Hate to say it, but pretty decent win. Before that, beating 4-1, 13-0, but then you get further down, it's 0-0s, 2-0s, 1-0s, 1-4. This guy that he did beat, Kyril Kornilov, is now 17-2-1. So decent wins. I'm not convinced that Gaziev is that guy that everybody wants him to be and says that he is. Beating a lot of low-level competition, people that can't really grapple. Even something like Jairzinho Rozenstruik was just sucking for air, for 3 of those 4 rounds. Ended up retiring, quitting at the end of the 4th round just because he couldn't continue. I just don't think he's going to be able to put that pace and that grappling pressure that he's used to doing on somebody like Thomas Petersen, who's a really good wrestler in his own right. Very big dude, 6'1", 74-inch reach, weighing in at the almost close to the heavyweight limit, 260 pounds. Gaziev 6'4", 78.5-inch reach, so he's gonna have a 4.5-inch reach. They're gonna be in similar weight, but again, he's 34. Don't think we're gonna see any real huge wrinkles out of his game. Like, we kind of know who Gaziev is, the type of style that he's gonna bring to the fight. Whereas Thomas Petersen, I feel like he's only getting better and better. Thomas Petersen's a pretty big underdog in this, plus 300. Gaziev is a minus 400. So I just feel like I don't think Gaziev is going to be able to put the type of grappling pressure that he's used to on somebody like Thomas Petersen, who's a very big dude, very good wrestler himself. I don't see Gaziev being able to take him down, and I feel like Petersen can match him in the cardio. I think that he's going to be keeping him honest on the feet. He's got very strong, very good boxing, much improved boxing like we saw against Muhammad Usman. Got his takedowns against Usman, who's also a very big dude. So I just think Petersen's going to be able to nullify the takedowns and the clinch work that Gaziev brings, and I feel like he's going to be the better striker. I don't agree with these odds. I'm picking a few small dogs on this card, not a lot of big ones, but this is probably the big one I'm picking is Thomas Petersen. I think he's just going to be he's kind of like, he's got a very similar style to Gaziev. I just trust him to have more grit. and to push the pace and to push through when things get tough and he gets tired. I see Petersen pushing forward and throwing leather, whereas Gaziev, I see him just kind of sucking wind and kind of waiting for the round to end. And that's kind of how I see this fight going, is Petersen's he's going to be able to dictate his game plan and keep the fight where he wants it and not be pushed around by somebody like Gaziev. And I see Gaziev just kind of wilting, kind of giving up, not being able to get his takedowns going, not landing the bigger punches, respecting Thomas Petersen too much on the feet, and letting the fight get away with him. So get away from him. So I'm going to go with Thomas Petersen in this one. I could see him winning by knockout against Shamil Gaziev, just because I just don't think Gaziev's a fighter. I just don't see him with the grit and that tenacity that we're used to seeing from guys coming out of that Dagestani region. So go with Thomas Petersen. If he doesn't knock him out, I think that he'll win a decision, just outworking Gaziev, and just making him kind of wilt under his pressure and his presence in the cage. So let me know what you guys think. Big underdog pick, but I got a lot of faith in Petersen in this one. Thanks.